The New York City subway system is vast. Over 660 miles of subway available for passengers. 5.8 million riders every day. That's over 1.7 billion riders every year. The New York City subway is not a luxury, it's a necessity. New Yorkers are this city's blood, and the subway trains are its veins and arteries. If you can't handle the crowds, the smells, or the heat, then go sit in traffic upstairs. But if you are up for the adventure, the first thing you're going to need to decipher is all this chaos. Now, I'm not here to teach you how to ride the subways, but my best piece of advice would be, when in doubt, ask a New Yorker. Police officers, MTA workers, New Yorkers for the most part, we got your back. We're not as rude as most people might think. Now, when you look at a subway map, you're going to see all these different colored lines, and some of them are lettered and some of them are numbered. There's no real purpose to this anymore, but the reason dates back to the subway's original history. Elevated trains arrived in New York in 1870, and the current subway system dates back to 1904 and was originally 3 competing companies. The Interborough Rapid Transit, the original, the Brooklyn Manhattan Transit, and the Independent Rapid Transit Railroad. All 3 ran independently until they were bought up by the Metropolitan Transportation Authority in 1953. The numbered lines were originally IRT. The lettered lines were BMT and IND. I remember the 9 train and the V train. There was once double-digit trains as well as double-lettered trains, but there was never a P train, because who would ride the P train? These separate transit systems are the reason why some trains are wider and some more narrow. Some of them are shorter too. Subway cars used to be 5 cars long, now most are 9 cars long. And when Superstorm Sandy hit the New York area, it destroyed our new South Ferry station. So we get to use the original one dating back to 1905 as long as you're in the first 5 cars of the train. And because we get to use this original subway station, we get to see some of that original tile work dating back to the early 20th century. Another original subway station is found directly underneath City Hall, but we can no longer use it. Due to the sharp curve of the subway tracks, the modern trains can't utilize that track. But if we stay on the 6 train past the Brooklyn Bridge stop, we get a glimpse into the past. This is considered one of the most beautiful subway stations in all of New York City. Other gems of the New York City subway include an original Roy Lichtenstein mural here in Times Square. How about a secret entrance into the Knickerbocker Hotel, which closed not long after its owner, John Jacob Astor, died on the Titanic. Then there's all the art installations, like the Mass Transiscope by Bill Brandt, 1980 at the original abandoned Myrtle Avenue subway station here in Brooklyn. Or the audio installation, Reach New York, an urban musical instrument by Christopher Janney. You will no doubt notice the numerous I-beams throughout almost all the subway stations in New York City that keep the streets from caving in on us down here. And if you look closely down at the bottom of the I-beams, you'll see these sort of slanted, elevated inserts. These are known as sanitary coves, and they're there simply to keep pools of urine from pooling up. Which brings us here, to New York City's newest subway stations along 2nd Avenue, which have been in development for 96 years. First mentioned in 1920 to relieve congestion along Lexington Avenue, these subway stations weren't completed until 2016. Note, no I-beams, no sanitary coves. We've come a long way.